What do they look like in skill position spots? I always intrigued by Minnesota. It seems like they always have skill position players out the wazoo, whether you're talking tailback or receiver.
Yeah, Darius Taylor's back is the headlining running back. You know, his physicality, he's improved his vision and, you know, ability to work in his own scheme. And I think, you know, as a receiver last year, you saw what he could do. You know, he was third in the conference in receiving yards among running backs last year. So he added that element to Minnesota's offense, just a receiving back. They added A.J. Turner, a transfer out of Marshall, more of a twitchy type of back that has second, third level acceleration in the zone scheme. Was a little bit productive there. So he'll be the complementary, you know, option to Darius, along with Cam Davis, who was at Washington, more of a physical between the tackles type of runner, had a lot of goal line touches and touchdowns in 2022 at Washington. And then, you know, you look at the wide receiver room, 2 transfers, Javon Tracy, wide receiver at Miami of Ohio, performed well in the YAC category, more of a vertical stretch type of guy that can, you know, win at all 3 levels, gives them a dimension to, you know, work in space and break tackles. He's one of the better tackle breaking wide receivers in the Big Ten or in the MAC last year. And then Logan Loya, UCLA. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be maybe their top wideout overall. Crafty kind of slot wideout, was more productive the previous year, but then they changed offensive schemes, and I think that kind of impacted him a little bit. But I like his route running. I think he's going to be a guy that emerges this year.
Javon Tracy is Tyrone Tracy's brother, Mark. So
yes,
transferred to Purdue, played at Iowa, of course. Now is carving out a nice running back career in the NFL, at least early on. So been one of the more surprising departures turned to a different position. So, Mark, you got something for?
Well, Max Brosmer carved out a fine season coming in from the FCS in New Hampshire last year as the starting quarterback and got better as the season went on. I believe Drake Lindsay followed him in a way from New Hampshire. Now he's been on campus at Minnesota longer leading into this, so he's been acclimated to the program. Comparisons to be made there, Daniel, between what Max Brosmer, and again, it was a solid success story for his transition to the Big Ten. But your thoughts about Drake Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, Brosmer last year, you look at how he played, I feel like he was worth about 3 wins for them last year. Just all the late game stuff that he was able to execute and the stuff at the line of scrimmage, being able to check into certain looks. He had a lot of responsibility at the line of scrimmage and what Minnesota was doing offensively. So, I mean, it's a big transition moving from someone like Max, who is very smart, very poised, you know, puts in the work, preparation, all the things that you're looking for in a quarterback. And he had that experience at the FCS level. You know, he saw a lot of stuff, you know, worked against a lot of different looks. So Drake Lindsay comes in here as, you know, a 4-year recruit out of Arkansas and gets a year with Max just to spend time with him, learn how he approached the game, just soak in all the information and learn Minnesota systems. So now here you go. Start playing, get experience in games. You know, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments where you see the flashes, but I think one of the core strengths of his game is anticipation. He's very good at throwing receivers open out of breaks and, you know, a lot of different route types. You got to see him throw, you know, in some of the sessions that we were at. He was really, really anticipating well. And I know that the coaching staff is, you know, excited about the talent he provides. So I guess we'll kind of see how it shakes out, because it's definitely a transition. You know, playing quarterback in the Big Ten, it's hard to simulate it until you see how guys perform.